Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. It's a good day when we have our friends in from Curebound. Going to chat about the Padres Pedal the Cause, and joining us is Megan Waddell. She is the Curebound event director for the event. How you doing, Megan?
Good. How are you?
Good. How long have you been with the organization?
Almost 9 years now. So seen it through a lot of transitions and growth. Yeah.
Oh my. Talk a little bit about Curebound. What's the mission of the organization?
Yeah. So our mission is to mobilize San Diego to accelerate cures for cancer in our lifetime. We believe we have all the tools here in San Diego to really make a big impact, and we just need the community to come together, and that's our goal.
Right, exactly. And you hit the nail on the head. If there's any region that is so well set up because of our universities, because of our research institutions, the phenomenal doctors that come out of this area, it's San Diego County, without question.
Absolutely. I think people don't realize that we actually have 3 NCI-designated cancer centers here, all within a mile of each other, and that's very rare. And not to mention all of our biotech hub and just so many people who are wanting to give back and be part of this movement. So we definitely have the tools to do it.
Why did you get involved with this? Was there some personal reason? Talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually lost my dad to cancer when I was a teenager.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. He passed of stage 4 colon cancer. And back then, that was 17 years ago. We didn't have the tools really to address his type of cancer. And so as my career went on, I was actually interning for the Padres in 2015. And they had just started partnering with Pedal the Cause and Curebound. And obviously this married a lot of my passions for cancer research and baseball and getting to work in the community. So I made the jump and never looked back.
Yeah, exactly. So, with the event, is that one of the many events that Curebound does?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have 2 signature events that happen every year.
Yeah.
Padres Pedal the Cause is our spring signature event that happens at Petco Park in partnership with the Padres. It's really a day for the community to come out and ride your bike, do a 5K, spin classes. It's a super fun day. And then we have a fall event called Concert for Cures that happens at the Shell. We hosted Ed Sheeran at that event last year and raised $5.5 million. So a couple of big events that we get to participate in every year.
Now, have you set up this year's concert?
So it's happening October 18th at the Shell. We are still awaiting confirmation for artists. So hopefully we will announce that likely this summer. Okay. But no, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure it is on this. But getting back to the cancer, the whole focus is that it's all types of cancer. Is that correct? Breast cancer, colon cancer, blood cancer, whatever.
Yes, all types of cancer. So we actually administer all of the grants in-house. And so we take all of the applications. We work with our scientific advisory board and peer reviewers to pick the strongest applications, and then we fund those. And we have 3 types of grants that we have historically funded. They're discovery grants, which is basically a new idea, seed funding that hasn't gotten off the ground. Targeted funding, which gives people some add-on funding for an idea that's sort of along the way a little further. And then last year we announced our first Cure Prize, which is $1 million grant to a team of researchers in San Diego that's addressing a cancer that's typically deadly with patient application in 3 to 5 years. And so when you think about the trajectory of cancer research and treatments, 3 to 5 years is really nothing, and we could be impacting people's lives very soon.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we're talking to Megan Waddell. She's the Curebound event director for Padres Pedal the Cause. Actually one of 2 signature events of Curebound. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We're the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, who has been doing phenomenal things in our community for more than 6 decades. So the event takes place, Padres Pedal the Cause, when?
April 7th at Petco Park.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Are we too late to register for it?
Plenty of time. You can register now. You can start a team. 100% of everything we raise from this event goes directly to cancer research to fund those grants that I was just talking about. Right. So it's a great way to come out and have some fun. We have a big party at Petco Park with a band and food and open bar. So you might as well sign up and come join us.
So when you do this, okay, so you're signing up now. Are there 3 different courses you're talking about on that day?
Yes. So it's all one day for everybody to come together, but there's tons of ways to participate. Okay. So we have cycling routes that go over the Coronado Bridge. Mm-hmm. Very rare. It's a super cool opportunity to get to ride on it.
That's right.
And we have something for everybody. So a 25, 55, 75. The 25 is very accessible. You can ride an e-bike, beach cruisers if you want. And then we have a family-friendly 5K that's flat, accessible. You can push a stroller. It's along the Embarcadero. So just an easy, fun course.
Right.
Spin classes at Petco Park taught by local spin instructors. And then, of course, we need hundreds of volunteers. So really any way for you to come out and get involved.
Right. And what's the date?
April 7th, Sunday, April 7th.
Sunday, April 7th. So on the 75 miler, okay, what time does that start? Like at 2 in the morning?
Well, sometimes we try and push people early, but we start at 7 a.m.
Okay.
And usually people will get back around 1 or 2 o'clock.
Wow. So where are they? Is it they're riding down the Strand? I mean, okay.
Yeah. So over the bridge, down the Strand, out to the border, which is a unique experience, kind of like around the horse camps, and then out to the Olympic the Olympic Training Center area.
Right.
And then back to the coast to come up to Petco.
Right. So is the money raised, and you guys raise a ton of money, is it pledges by the people that participate on top of whatever their entry fee is, or a little bit of a combination?
Yes. Good question. So everybody who registers, they pay a registration fee that gets you your jersey and everything. And then the cycling routes and the spin classes do have a fundraising commitment. So we ask you to fundraise a little bit. Just to go back to the mission, you get a fundraising page. You can post on Facebook, all of that. The 5K does not have a minimum commitment, but we do encourage you to fundraise along the way. So if you're new to fundraising or you're not sure, come out and join the 5K and just see what it's all about. But we raised $3.2 million from this event last year.
That's huge.
So that individual fundraising goes a long way.
Right, exactly. And how many people will come out for this on the 7th?
Our goal is around 4,000 participants this year. Plus, we have spectators and friends and family who come down. So, 5,000 people will probably be at Petco Park having a good party.
Right. And how many years have you done this now?
This will be our 11th year in San Diego.
So how many people have done all 11? Is there a good number?
We do. Honestly, it's 100 or 200 people that have kind of stuck with us,
right? Which
is crazy because that first year, we only had 300 or 400 people. And I think that's just the power of seeing what the impact is and how our community comes together. You kind of drink the Kool-Aid and can't leave.
Yeah. It's interesting. And I may have shared this with you before when you were on the show. My father was a physician and taught medicine at UCLA and so forth. And so I'm always very bullish on groups that raise money for research because we know, it's not inexpensive, but it's so valuable because you just do not know what cure you're doing in this area that translates to some other.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's hard sometimes for people to grasp what funding research means.
It's huge.
But we try and make it tangible and easy for people to see that we're taking discoveries that people are making with cells and in the lab all the way to the bedside and really helping patients today. And it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, well, listen, you don't know what they're discovering here in 2024 that in 2030 you just saved, 500 lives because of X, Y, and Z. And that's real stuff. Anybody's been in that space as much on this. So volunteers, how many volunteers do you need for the April 7th event?
We take about 300 to 500 volunteers to put on this event. And it's anywhere from working on the course, helping pour water for cyclists, to cheering at the finish line, to helping us pass out T-shirts, anything. All those little things go a long way to making the event experience really good for people who are raising money.
Right, exactly. Do the Padres get involved? I mean, are the whole team out there riding bikes? Are they handing out water? Are they doing whatever? Because the season has already started, correct?
Yes. So the Padres front office is very involved. They're obviously our home. Sure. They help us run the event. A lot of them participate in the 5K as a team. Their team is called Team 19 in honor of Tony Gwynn.
Right.
And so they come out and participate in big numbers. The actual Padres team will be playing away that weekend.
I was going to say, okay. All
yeah.
right.
So we don't get to, welcome them to the event, but their front office is phenomenal.
Yeah. So is my good friend Bill Johnston. Does he get involved? And so Billy, I'm honored to call him a friend and colleague for many, many years. And Billy was running the PR for the Chargers, of course, and then moved over. Ron Fowler brought him over to the Padres. And if you know anything about Bill Johnston, his beautiful wife, unfortunately, succumbed to Huntington's disease, and he would be doing marathons and all that business. So this got to be near and dear to his heart.
Yes, he's, their whole department is so supportive of us, and he helps us organize all sorts of days at games where we can promote and on-field activations. They're just a really great partner for us.
Yeah, they really are. We're chatting with Megan Waddell. She is the Curebound event director for Padres Pedal the Cause. That'll be on April the 7th. What's the website?
padrespedal.org, and you can register to join, or you can donate straight to our team, and that 100% will go to cancer research.
Right, exactly. So when we come back from break, we're going to chat more about the event and so forth, how to get engaged in this, obviously donations, volunteering, and all that. But if you can't participate on the 7th, Megan will have some ideas for you to continue to stay engaged in this aspect of it. And maybe we can talk a little bit about the concert that'll be happening up in October. We can sort of recap what Ed Sheeran had done when we return with another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year. We're brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, continuing to do great things for San Diegans for more than 6 decades. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Cloudcast Media. We are the longest running community podcast in the nation, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union in this beautiful Mission Fed studio in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed always doing good things for us folk who live in San Diego County. They've been doing it for more than 60 years. We are honored to have in the studio with us today Megan Waddell. She is the Curebound event director, Padres Pedal for the Cause. It'll be on April the 7th of this year, expecting 4,000 people to raise tons of cool money for very important cancer research. Megan, thank you so much for coming on. If people can't participate in the 7th, can't be there, I should say, they can participate in many different ways, right? Yeah. What can they do if they can't make the event?
Yeah, 2 things. We do have a virtual participation option that you can register for. Yep. It's $50. You can participate any way you want to. You get a fundraising page, and you are a participant of Padres Pedal the Cause, or you can just donate. We need, we're hoping to raise $3.4 million this year from Padres Pedal. So every dollar counts, and your money will go a long way to curing cancer.
So how does one do that virtually?
So we actually have people who participate every year who happen to be out of town or have to go somewhere. They'll do their own run or do their own ride or be on the Peloton and post a picture on Facebook and say, I participated in my own way.
Right, exactly. They're not actually showing a picture of themselves doing 25 miles somewhere, right? With one of those. Exactly. Okay, that's cool. You need about, you said, 400 volunteers? Is that about?
Yeah, we take 300 to 500,
Okay, gotcha.
anywhere from there to kind of put on the event, depending on what sort of activations we have.
Right, exactly. So you were talking about was that the first concert you did? Was the Ed Sheeran?
It was our second show.
Second show. What was the first one?
Alicia Keys.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yes.
right. Both at the Shell, correct?
Both at the Shell. Yep, we kicked that off in 2022 with Alicia,
right.
and
That's right.
she put us on a really strong trajectory and gave us a lot. So we're excited.
No, very, very good. And so Ed Sheeran, you raised, what, $5 million plus, you said?
$5.5 million from the
Wow.
Ed Sheeran show. Yeah, one night concert. He was phenomenal. Obviously, he's been affected by cancer.
Yes.
His wife
Right.
was diagnosed, and so he really cared about the mission and put on just a fabulous show for people to enjoy.
Right. Who helped you? Did we work with the Shell folks to bring him on pretty much? Or
Yeah, so we actually
or
through
Live
our
Nation or whoever it is? Yeah.
It's totally like that. Yeah. So we have a board of directors who actually have connections to agents. And so we kind of talk about what our event is and who might be interested. And, it's an interesting combination of somebody that people are really going to like, but also somebody who cares about the mission, who wants to give back. And so it's finding those people, and he just fit the bill perfectly.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head on this thing. And listen, always want to hear a performer like Ed Sheeran or Alicia Keys or whomever else. But when they have this passion about it for personal reasons, of course, that obviously elevates the performance, to say the least in this. So, you work with some just iconic groups down here, Rady Children's Hospital and, the John Moore's, Cancer Center and so forth, and obviously, Salk Institute in Sanford Burnham. How do they participate in this? Are they with you shoulder to shoulder in putting on the event? Obviously, they're the research folks and making sure they can, actually execute some of the money that's raised.
Yeah, so we now have 6 beneficiaries.
Yeah.
It's Rady Children's, Moore's Cancer Center, UCSD, the Salk Institute, Sanford Burnham Prebys, Scripps Research, and La Jolla Institute of Immunology. And that is where all of our grant funding goes. So we require that they collaborate together to put forward applications, which is very unique. Not very many grant-making organizations require people to work together, but we believe that's how we'll bring about the most impact. And they all are, they're in it together with us. They all have a team of participants who come out and do Padres Pedal, celebrate with us. They help us do peer reviews and really push forward the science in the best way. So they're absolutely our partner in this.
Yeah, and I think we chatted about that before, that it is unique that organizations like this, not that they despise each other, obviously they're competing for a very precious dollar in this aspect of it, but, this is the absolutely textbook case of 1 + 1 = 10 or whatever, or 10 million or 100 million, which you're trying to raise over 10 decades on that. So you have to have the right leadership that understands that, of course, and now that they're in on it, certainly they'll be there, for quite a while. Do you work with groups in other parts of the state or other parts of the country, or pretty much keep it in San Diego?
Yeah, I think with our expanding grant-making capabilities and the different grants we're able to do, what's core to us is collaboration. And so we believe that institutions need to come together. We're beginning to expand our ideas of collaboration outside of those 6 beneficiaries. What we believe is that it needs to be one of those 6 beneficiaries, but if they want to partner with UCLA or Stanford, into the future, any of the big research institutions in Boston, we're just trying to fund the best research and bring about that here in San Diego. And so we're just, expanding as we grow.
Right, exactly on this. And do you work with local groups? I was honored to be on the Susan Komen board for 6 years and so forth. And there's a lot of great, organizations that are dealing with different types of cancer and that aspect of it. Do you work with groups like that?
Yeah, we don't see that as competition. We love to kind of learn from everybody and see, how people have grown and how they've been able to raise money too. And so we've been able to meet with different organizations just to learn from each other. I think as we grow, we'll see more opportunities to collaborate, but that's really building those relationships has been important to us.
Right, exactly. And as you mentioned before, you're working with these groups and to see if you can make some things happen in 3 to 5 years, which again is lightning fast in the world of what we're working on. But that just shows what happens when you collaborate on this and things are accelerated on this. And do you see staying with cancer? That's big enough thing to bite out right there on it, or maybe even going into some other areas down the road. Cancer right now, obviously.
Yeah, I think the research that we're funding could have applications into other diseases as well. So our first Cure Prize that we funded last June is a screening tool for ovarian cancer, which we know ovarian cancer is often caught way too late, and that's why it's so deadly. And so this is a new way to approach screening, and it's using an MRI tool, which is a brand new frontier. And I think that could have applications to different diseases as well. And so we see this as like raising the health of our community in general. But, once we cure cancer, maybe in 10 years when we're curing cancer, we'll move on to something else.
Yeah, the Clarity Foundation has been on our show, a bunch of times and dealing with ovarian cancer and so forth. And, I think what's so great about this there's 85,000 reasons why this is great. But, I think it just lets people know you're not in this alone, okay? That certainly the shock when someone finds out they have fill in the blank, what type of cancer it is. But you got groups like CureBound, okay, that are working hard to say, we're going to find, some cures for this. It may take us a little while to do it, but you're not alone in this. Talk about that.
Yeah. The prevailing statistic is that 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. And so at some point, everyone is going to be affected, either yourself or your close family member.
Right.
And that's why bringing the community together for events like Padres Pedal the Cause is so powerful, because you can look out on the thousands of people and know we're all here for the same reason. We've all been touched by cancer and we all want to do something about it.
Yeah. That is something that in one of these days, hopefully in my lifetime, I'm a lot older than you, definitely maybe in your lifetime, we're going to be able to find, that cure. And certainly it's not because people aren't working hard to do this. And we have, as you mentioned earlier, some of the greatest scientists in the world living in our backyard on that. Shout out one more time, Padres Pedal the Cause. The date is?
April 7th at Petco Park.
And how do people sign up again? What's the website?
Yeah, find our website at padrespedal.org to register today or donate.
Very good. Any final comments?
Thank you for being here. I think, every time we do something like this, it's just reaching more and more people. And that's the point of this. We know we need every single person in San Diego to come together to help us. So please join us.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to have you, Megan Waddell. Promise you'll come back in when you've announced who the act will be in October for the concert. To benefit this as well. Would love to chat with you when that comes about.
You'll be the first to know.
I will love to be the first to know over here. Megan Waddell, she's the Curebound event director for Padres Pedal the Cause. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing just great things for San Diegans, and they've been doing this for more than 6 decades. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.